Hello and welcome to EV News. This is number 8. Seems a long way back when I did number 1. So yeah, welcome to number 8. This is going to be all the news I can gather in about 5 or 6 little snippets. Information that you might require, you might already have. I've been a bit late on this news because I've been doing other projects. So this is it, EV News number 8. Okay, first up in the news, it's just something I want to talk about again, which I'm only going to lay on this a tiny bit from a previous post, and what it is with Winnebago. I did a EV RV post a couple of weeks back now, laid it on a couple of EV forums, got some feedback, got some comments. Thank you very much for that if you're watching. It is still on here, so if you can search it out, in fact it's there, look. Get on that one there. If you do run an RV, more so in the UK, give it a look. What it basically was, I was trying to say how much things are going to change. And even Winnebago have now took this on board. Winnebago have decided that they want to look at something electric. In 2019 they had a Class A, which was nothing to look at. It was an old shape Class A. But inside that, what you couldn't see was all the gizmos going on and the laying out of a battery pack or 2. Motors, 2 maybe, 4 maybe, who knows. It's their bag, it's their show. Down there in sunny Florida, I wish I was there with them, folks. And this is their, this is going to be their outlook. Okay, swiftly moving on. BP used to be called British Petroleum. It probably still is in the business quarters, but not so much on a day-to-day level. People just don't call it that anymore. BP have decided that they want to get into the EV charging circuit, and they went out and bought Pulse. It got called Chargemaster. It got called BP Pulse now. Been a bit hit and miss here in the UK, but they have promised that they will be going forward and doing a lot more. They are considering by 2030, and hopefully it's sooner, because 2030 in my eyes is far too late. By 2030, I think if they don't go ahead with a lot more, they might be beaten. BP want to go ahead and get rid of the ones they've got now. They'll be faster, better. Most of their pumps at the moment, their charge pumps, or charge points I have to call them, can do about 50 kilowatt an hour. Well, they're going to be surging forward with these at 125, 150 kilowatt an hour, and I think that's where it needs to be minimum in the next 4 or 5 years. At the moment they've got about 11,000 out there, squandered all over the UK. Not 11,000 locations, I'm talking 11,000 charge points. And again, remember, it's Chargemaster that they have bought out and now called BP Pulse, and it's whatever you want to call it. I've been using it for about 3 years now, actually. I used to have the card, but now it's gone cardless as far as I'm concerned, because you just go up to now and put your payment card on and away you go. But BP want to get ahead of themselves. They're talking about 70,000 charge point locations, or should I say charge points, not locations, sorry, don't get me wrong there. 70,000 by 2030. That's a lot of charge points. And so if they do that, I mean, they've already found out that there is profit in these things. You know, the profit in a EV charge point is getting very near the same profit they make out of each litre of fuel. If it goes that way, what they're going to do, because it's cheaper overall and easier once you put that charge point in, to carry on just using the charge point. You ain't got to start delivering things every 5 minutes, fuel every, big tankers. You don't need to service it as much. It don't need to be calibrated as much. It's far better. BP know this, and that's where their profits are going to be coming from soon. And like I say, it's not far off that balancing act where the charge point will make as much money as a litre of fuel. Very, very near that now. So that's BP for you in EV8 News. Okay, number 3 EV8 News, PepsiCo. Now PepsiCo, if you don't know who they are, and you might not do, and you'll know, if you're in the UK, you know who Walkers are, and you'll know Pepsi, i.e. being the Pepsi Coca-Cola, not Coca-Cola, but Pepsi-Cola. They own a lot of outlets. They own a lot of sub-companies and subsidiaries. Walker's Chris is one of them here in the UK. If you didn't know that, you know it now. It's American owned. Their headquarters in Modesto, California. I think I pronounced it right there, folks. Excuse me if I haven't. And that's PepsiCo. PepsiCo, this is their emblem. Yep, that's PepsiCo. And some of them you're looking at now are basically the American ones. And here's another one, which is the European subsidiary side of it. And like I say, Walker's Crisps and a few others. Lay's Crisps are the big ones worldwide. So that's PepsiCo, so at least you know they are. So PepsiCo are going to be one of the first to take on quite large trucks for their deliveries, electric trucks of course. So they're having some chargers fitted. Now the chargers they are having fitted are mega chargers. These things bang out 1.5 megawatts, you know, per hour. That's serious stuff here, folks. That is big stuff. You will never have that done in a car because the battery packs are too small. This is for their big large trucks. Now these are all going in, as you can see here. Yep, that is where they are going, and that's the first of 3, I believe, going in. And like I say, that's in their headquarters there for PepsiCo. They're getting ready for any trucks to purchase through Tesla. That's PepsiCo getting their units in, getting ready for this big electric onslaught of their trucks for all big deliveries around California. And this will go nationwide for them as well, eventually and very soon. Moving on. Okay, moving on, keeping with EV News 8. By the way, before we go any further, if you've not seen EV News 7, 6 or even 5, pretty much up to date still, maybe only a couple of months old, so if it's all new to you on this EV scene, go check them out, well worth a look at. I'll put them here and here. There's 7, there's 6, there's 5, okay? Check them out, there's 5, 6, 7. I think previous to 5, pre-5, might be a bit dated, but like I say, if you've just come onto the scene of electric vehicles and this is the first time you've been here to KKM family, welcome. But yeah, go check them out. Anyway, back to 8, this is the big one. There's an energy company who have decided on trying to purchase 54 acres of land in North Essex here in the UK. What they want to do with this is to put a massive solar farm down there which will have its own battery storage units. I think it's 4 battery storage units going in, and with that it will be a fully self-contained, grid not needed electrical supply for around 12 very high capacity car charge points. All going to be covered, going to be a little cafe on site, maybe a little shop. There's been a tiny bit of, should I say, local no, we don't want it, which I think's a bit silly because you've got to look at the bigger picture. But they are concerned about the green belt that this solar farm will be taking up. So you know, there's a couple of people are saying it's going to become a black belt and blah blah blah, whatever. This is near a village called Kirby Cross. So if you're watching this, you live near Kirby Cross, get ready because I think they're going to get planning permission for it. There's a bit of a sweetener. There is a £360,000 community benefit spondoolie coming your way for that local area, and that 360,000 will go to help, like I say, community projects around the 54-acre farm, and whoever gets any benefits from it will benefit. Okay, here's a big one. This is all about New York City. What it is basically, they're spending over $11 million from New York's central funds for law enforcement and park and recreation facilities vehicles. Now they're not only going for an EV, which is great news, they are also going for top spec GT Mustang Mach-E's. Now what I mean by the GT is quicker, faster off the mark, it's got a bigger battery pack if you want it, a bit more equipment, so they're going for pretty much the top end. There's only one that's better than that. I won't mention, that's called the performance model, which obviously is no good for them. The GT is far fast enough. It's about 3.8 seconds 0 to 60, 250, 300 mile range, especially around the cities, because they are perfect for that. They're also putting up some extra charging hubs around New York City itself, so all looking great. This has all gone forward because they're trying to get rid of the fossil fuel cars through Biden's directive, and I think New York City is jumping on this and thinking, well, we can be one of the first to get that done. And yes, 11.3 million's worth of Mustang Mach-E GTs, so that can't be bad. I can remember when I used to use the Mustang down in Florida Highway Patrol, the FHP. I got stopped by one once many years ago, got a speeding ticket for $90, paid it before I left the country because if I didn't I wouldn't get back in. So yeah, that was a bummer. $90, get out of here. Yeah, paid that one. That was in a Mustang GT, like I say, down in Florida. I don't think they ever used them around New York City. They were quite big on their Ford Crown Victorias, these things. Ford Crown Vic was the enemy of the Chevy Caprice, which used to be the GM's version of the cop car, but they've all fell out of favour now. They've all gone to SUVs. The Ford Explorer is one of the biggest ones they use now, especially around the New York City area. They're moving away from them. They're going to Mustang Mach-E's, full electric. These things, there's 184, I believe, for that money, for the $11.3 million. Now, don't get me wrong, this also includes getting them all right, getting them all tethered up to be law enforcement vehicles, all the health and safety issues, all the extra bits they need, it's all in the price. So I think they've pulled a pretty decent deal, not bad at all. The Mustang Mach-E GT, I think it's jumped them at about $62,500 for each one they're actually purchasing. They take delivery of these things June this year, so pretty much going forward pretty rapidly. So hope Ford's going to get the thumb out of the hole and start making these things a bit quicker, because I know at one time there was a 24 to 28 week waiting list for the very first ones, and I think Ford is speeding up on that now. So yeah, by June, New York City cops and some other park and recreation vehicles will all be Mustang Mach-E's. Look out for them, folks, if you're in the New York City area. Loads of space in the back as well for the crooks and the crims to be behind the bars and whatever these things. So well done, New York City. And if I ever get there, i.e. back in this year or next year, I will look out for those Mustang Mach-E's. So well done, New York City. Okay, folks, finally on this EV8. Woo, it's getting warm in here, makes a pleasant change. Finally on this EV8, we have some good news from France. Now, France is not being a big player in the electric car scene, apart from Renault and Citroën, but they're still anti-sound anyway. But yeah, what it is, there's 50 buses that were ordered back some time ago, hydrogen buses in Mount Pellier. I think I'm pronouncing that right, yeah I am. And they've been cancelled. 50 hydrogen buses have been cancelled by the local town and city, should I say, Mount Pellier in France. Excuse me if you're French and you're looking at this. The hydrogen buses were cancelled purely because they did a review of the things, and overall, because of the actual cost of buying them were on par. I think the hydrogen ones were slightly cheaper to buy per bus, because it's the battery packs that are the big money, the expense. But what's happened is they've looked at it as a bigger picture, which you should do if you're buying 50 hydrogen buses. They've now decided to go full electric. Yes, full electric. Well done, France. Now they're saying that overall, over say a 5-year period, the electric ones will be far cheaper to run and far cheaper as a 50 off purchase. So that's going to be great because of all the backup that hydrogen needs and the setting up and everything else, and then the cost of the hydrogen. They're 100% sure that they will be saving money on 50 electric ones. So the hydrogen ones have been cancelled. So, you know, some people are doing this. There's a lot of talk about hydrogen buses, but you don't ever see them. You know, and people are still kind of like delving into the electric and ordering electric trucks and electric bikes. Where's all this hydrogen nonsense come from? It ain't going anywhere in my eyes. Not at the moment. I'm not saying it's not certain part of the future in big yellow plant, big yellow Tonka toys that they use on quarries and stuff. They could all be hydrogen based. That would be good. But no, these have been cancelled. So the order was for 50 over a 2-year period, and they should start taking delivery of them very early this year. So well done, France. Well done, Mount Pellier. Again, 50 electric over 50 hydrogen. Can't be bad. Anyway, folks, that kind of like wraps this 8 up. I'm going to try and be a bit quicker to get number 9 done for you. And I'm sorry if it's took too long between 7 and 8. I have had other things going on. But I will try and get 9 done very rapid. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's informative for you again. If you just come on board and you meet me for the first time, it's KK and family. Welcome to our adventures. Welcome to the channel. I hope you stay with us. Subscribe. Ding ding. Buzz that icon at the top there, that bell icon. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get these things as soon as they come up. I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Helps the analytics. Anyway, that wraps it up for 8. We'll catch you later.